If I ask you if you want to be successful, you would probably say yes. Success is something everyone desires because it has only positive connotations in our culture. Challengers portrays the lives of three talented tennis players: Tashi Duncan, Patrick Zweig, and Art Donaldson. Since childhood, they've been working hard to achieve their career goals. The movie shows how their approaches to success define their personalities and destinies, and what it means to be in the grip of a success-focused mindset. This is what success looks like. Tashi Duncan is the future of women's tennis. She understands tennis. She lives and breathes it. She's a symbol of success. She's sexy, but the aura of success that surrounds her makes her even more desirable. Even though they are around the same age, Tashi is already what Art and Patrick aspire to be. Tashi is more mature and professional because she wholeheartedly understands and accepts the mechanics of success: goal setting, planning and strategy, discipline and hard work, adaptability, and resilience. These are second nature to her. She knows about the uncertainty and unpredictability of success and embraces both. That makes her humble and respectful. This scene shows that Art doesn't understand Tashi and the principles she believes in.
Alright, so when are you going pro?
Well, if we win the championship, then I'll leave.
So May.
I said if we win.
Right. So May.
Tashi respects the uncertainty of success. She isn't assuming that she will win automatically. Art wants to flatter her here, but to Tashi, thinking like that is a flaw. While a success-focused mindset like Tashi's can lead to significant achievements, it is unlikely to provide deep, lasting satisfaction without personal goals and higher values. Her goals are clear. She wants to dominate women's tennis. What Tashi lacks are higher values. Everything she does is justified by success and success alone. On the day they meet for the first time, Tashi shares a philosophy with Patrick and Art.
Yeah, but you're not a tennis player. So you don't know what tennis is. Because you think that tennis is about expressing yourself, doing your thing. It's a relationship.
Patrick doesn't understand. For him, it's just talk. He only thinks about how he can get her into bed. But Tashi reveals her innermost self, the essence of what makes life worth living.
For about 15 seconds there, we were actually playing tennis. And we understood each other completely. So did everyone watching. It was like we were in love. Or like we didn't exist.
Even after a year of being with Tashi, Patrick still doesn't grasp her philosophy. He is so confident in himself that he refuses to let anything challenge his beliefs. As a result, Patrick neglects an important aspect of success: adaptability. This means being able to engage with others, learn from them, and adapt to new things. When Tashi tells him he needs someone to coach him, Patrick doesn't want to hear it. He is convinced he has what it takes to go all the way. Patrick's character demonstrates how an inflated ego, combined with a rigid and flawed personal concept of success, can trap someone in repetitive behaviors that hinder real progress and achievement. Tashi's analysis of Patrick is, as always when it comes to tennis, absolutely spot on. He doesn't understand tennis because he wants to express himself on the court. Or to put it differently, he wants to show off. Patrick doesn't believe in the mechanics of success. He is unaware of the uncertainty and unpredictability of success, and, frankly, he doesn't care. Patrick's game relies on his talent, wit, and audacity. He doesn't want to set goals, analyze his opponent, or have a game plan. He just wants to play. The director of the film, Luca Guadagnino, doesn't show Patrick training much. Instead, he often shows him with a cigarette in his mouth. Tashi and Art don't smoke, but Patrick does, and is proud of it. For him, tennis is a game not to be taken too seriously. He firmly believes he is one of the best players in the world and that success is something he was born with. Luca Guadagnino and the screenwriter Justin Kuritskas chose tennis as the backdrop because it's a game of control and domination. If you can be the aggressor, be proactive, and dominate your opponent, you are likely to win. This is well illustrated in a sequence from the 2006 US Open Boys final where Patrick and Art faced each other. Patrick dominates the point. He is aggressive and in control. Art is outplayed, only able to react, running and giving his all just to stay in the game. To have a chance of winning, you need to put yourself in a position to dominate and control the game. A good example for this is the serve and volley strategy. Serve and volley is a tactic in tennis where the player serves the ball and immediately moves toward the net to volley the opponent's return. You act and the opponent can only react. If you play it well, your opponent has no chance to win the point. Domination and control are only possible if you have the skills and a match plan to outplay your opponent. To do this, you need to know your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. You adjust your strategies and approaches, depriving the opponent of their strengths. You might ask yourself, why this deep analysis? Well, in Challengers, the relationship between Tashi, Art, and Patrick play out in a similar way. They all want to be in control. If they lose control, they regroup, recover, make a new plan, and adjust. It's always about who's in control of the situation. Who is proactive and who is reacting. That's tennis. Patrick wants to call the shots, but if the opponent outplays him, he falls apart. For Tashi, tennis is all about analyzing your opponent, finding their weaknesses and hitting them where it hurts most. A tennis player has a plan, and by following your match plan and imposing it on your opponent, you put yourself in a position to win. From this point of view, success is only possible if you know exactly what you're doing and if you have the skills and stamina to outplay your opponent again and again. You can't be a tennis player if you don't know what tennis is. Art knows what tennis is, and he works hard. He does all he can to achieve success, but he is too passive, too submissive. Deep down, Art doesn't believe he can win against Patrick.
I'm at peace with the fact that you're going to win.
It's not a fact.
I'm just saying, throw me a couple of games, maybe a set.
I think you'd beat him now if you guys played. Don't you think?
Don't know.
When Art is with Patrick, Patrick is the dominant one. And when he's with Tashi, she calls the shots. Art is a submissive person driven by a success-focused mindset centered around others' expectations. He may achieve outward success, but at the cost of personal fulfillment and growth. Art loves Tashi, but at first Tashi chooses Patrick because they are equals in temperament and audacity. Both are independent, self-centered, and naturally talented. After a fight with Patrick, Tashi plays a game and injures her knee so badly that her career is over. Her dreams and hopes are shattered, but Tashi can't be without tennis, so she decides to become a coach. Meanwhile, Art becomes a professional and loses sight of Patrick altogether. 3 years later, Art and Tashi team up, and what a team they are. With Tashi by his side, Art wins 3 out of the 4 Grand Slam titles: the Australian Open, the French Open, and Wimbledon. Tashi and Art are married and have a daughter. They are rich and famous. But now, after 10 years of success, Art is exhausted. He starts losing frequently, to which Tashi responds with even more aggression and pressure. Art knows he's acting on Tashi's ambitions, but he just can't take it anymore.
I'm playing for both of us, Tashi. I know that.
Tashi wants to win the career Grand Slam. This means winning all 4 Grand Slam titles. Art won 3, but never the US Open. So Tashi wants him to win the US Open no matter what. When we see Art, there is no joy, no passion, no lightness anymore. Only hard work, pressure, and Tashi's relentless ambition gnawing at him. Tashi knows she has to do something radical, so she convinces him to play the Phil's Tire Town Challenger to build up his confidence.
That's a challenger.
Yeah, I know that. You need to start winning.
What they don't know is that Patrick Zweig is playing in the tournament too. In 2006, Patrick was full of confidence and vigor. He believed he would have a great career in professional tennis. He thought he and Tashi were equals, but they never were. In the 13 years since, Patrick hasn't changed much and hasn't learned anything. He never became the tennis player he hoped to be. He still believes he is one of the best, but doesn't understand what tennis truly is. By 2019, Patrick's life is a mess. At 31 years old, he is broke and his credit card doesn't work, so he sleeps in his car in the parking lot of the country club hosting the Challenger tournament he wants to play in next. In the morning, a country club employee tries to chase him away. When the man learns that Patrick is a tennis player who wants to register for the tournament, he is embarrassed, but Patrick is not. Nothing embarrasses Patrick. At the registration desk, the hungry Patrick meets a friendly lady who shares her morning bagel with him. She recognizes him as the boys' US Open winner of 2006. 1 week later, Art and Patrick face each other in a final again. Just like in 2006, Patrick is confident he will beat Art. Patrick and Tashi still feel sexually attracted to each other. They had an affair 8 years ago when Tashi was already married to Art. A few days before the final of the Challenger, Patrick goes to see Tashi and asks her to be his coach. Patrick knows this could be his last chance to become a tennis star. Tashi's reaction, however, is unambiguous.
How fucking dare you? Jesus Christ!
But the day before the final, Tashi feels that Art might lose to Patrick. She is convinced that a defeat would crush his self-confidence so much that he would never be able to win the US Open. Art begs her to tell him it doesn't matter if he wins or loses against Patrick. But instead of giving him love and support, she is as brutal as can be. She tells him that if he loses, she will leave him. Art is crushed. Tashi acts this way because it is her coaching style. Manipulating Art has been her tactic and match plan from day one of their professional collaboration. That's why Art is tired. He's not tired of tennis, he's tired of the constant pressure to win. Tashi doesn't trust Art to win against Patrick, so she decides to take action herself. She meets with Patrick and asks him to let Art win. Patrick is outraged because integrity is more important to him than winning. He sees Tashi as a loser because she's obsessed with winning. Tashi and Patrick argue and then sleep together again. Afterwards, Tashi asks Patrick again if she can rely on him to let Art win.
How am I supposed to know if you're gonna do it?
You won't?
When Art and Patrick begin the final, neither of them knows what will happen. There's a lot at stake for both. Patrick thinks that Tashi could become his coach, but he doesn't know if he should win or lose to make this happen. He wants to end his career with a Grand Slam title and knows he needs Tashi for that. Tashi has told him no, but Patrick doesn't take no for an answer. Art, on the other hand, needs to win because Tashi told him, if you lose, I leave you. And Tashi is his everything, his life, his reason to be. The destructive power of their success-focused mindsets unfolds in this last scene. Patrick spoke to Art the day before the final. The meeting in the sauna wasn't friendly. It was hostile, but ended on a personal note.
This is a game about winning the points that matter.
They don't matter.
Not even to the most obsessive tennis fan in the entire world.
Patrick is visibly affected, but answers,
I wanted to come in here and wish you luck, Art.
That makes no sense.
I wanted to say that I'm looking forward to it. That I miss playing with you.
The warmth and friendliness of those words resonate with Art because they are the opposite of Tashi's aggressive, cold words. The longer the game lasts, however, the more you get the impression that this game will not solve anything. No matter who wins, there are only losers. But then Luca Guadagnino shifts the perspective. Suddenly, the tennis game is no longer the focus. The game of success-oriented mindsets is now the focus. It's not about who wins the tennis match, but about who gains dominance, control, and supremacy in this complex three-way relationship. Tashi's philosophy from her speech on the beach about tennis being like a partnership is important here. Here, Patrick signals to Art that he slept with his wife by starting his serve this way. Logically, Art is full of pain and rage. But, finally, through this game of tennis, the two men understand each other completely. And Art realizes that Patrick is not his enemy, but his friend. He remembers the laughs and the quality time they had together. The friendly words from the sauna made the difference. Art recalls the good times they shared. For the first time, Art rises literally above his friend. He could easily smash Patrick's head with his racket, and for a moment the audience might think this happens. But instead, he collapses into his arms. They embrace and smile. Both are happy. Patrick may not be a successful tennis player, but he's a human being. In the end, Patrick's kind attitude wins Art back. Challengers shows us that success isn't as simple as it seems. For 13 years, the three main protagonists were driven by a success-focused mindset. How they defined and approached success in tennis shaped their personalities and destinies. But success in tennis isn't everything. Will Art find personal success by having Tashi stand by him and his family, even if he doesn't win the US Open? Will Patrick keep his mischievous smile and light attitude towards life, even if he doesn't achieve anything in tennis? Will Tashi, after seeing Art and Patrick finally experience the deeper connection of tennis, recognize them as equals? Success is multidimensional, uncertain, and unpredictable. So, who won the match point?